नमस्कार. योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचा मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योऽपाकरोक्तं प्रवरं मुनीना पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरातोऽस्मि. Who gave yoga for the serenity and the sanctity of the mind, grammar for the pronunciation clarity and the purity, perfection of the health. So let us bow before the noblest of the sages, Sri Patanjali Rishi. Very warm welcome on this platform of Harita Charcha, the Nature Talk. I am Samir, your host. And yes, today is a very special day, being International Yoga Day 2020. Dear friends, I would first of all take this opportunity to thank you all for your enlightening comments, feedbacks for the last episode on the World Environment Day, on which our guest was Mr. Hiren Khatri, and we talked a lot about nature, conservation and wildlife and his experience within the Arunachal Pradesh forests. As you know, Harita Charcha, our platform, the main motto is to bridge between the students, professors, scientists, agriculturists, and yes, industries. At the different corners of all the places in the world, I would like all the students to come and talk to the professors or even the speakers as a resource and enriching thought between the students and the teachers, professors. This is our main motto. Harit means the green environment. It is taken from the Vedas, and Charcha means a Urdu word to get into or to mashgul into something, a fruitful topic. And yoga being its roots to the Indian Yogic Sciences methodology, apart from Ayurveda, Vastu-Shastra, Panchakarma. These are the Vedic sciences that have been culturally practiced in not only India, but today it has widespread over all the planet and the globe. And being today's pandemic issues, the mental stress, the health, the cognitive behavior of the people is the very big point of discussion. In the same context, dear friends, yes, we have a very special guest today. Mr. Abhijeet Pandey, a yoga instructor, and he is called most fondly in the Singapore as Abhijeet Yogi. So I would welcome him today on this platform, but he is a Hath-yogi at a very small age. He has studied from Banaras Hindu Universities, and just like Hiren in our last episode, he has also chased his dreams to become a nature lover, a yogic master, and he has chased his dreams being from an engineering background. He has been awarded at national, international solo performances at different places. He has performed and he's a yoga poster guy for various sports companies, as you may have seen him. So I would insist you all to please ask the questions in the description box after the video, and do not forget to subscribe, like and share this word, being such an auspicious day and the whole world dealing with such pandemic stress. Yoga and a small session on yoga of our today's episode would no doubtly would enlighten one and all. So thank you. Let us welcome Yogi Abhijeet.
Namaste.
So my first question would be, please share us about your academic journey, your introduction, Abhijeet ji.
Okay, so my name is Abhijeet. I belongs to Varanasi, India, uh, and I'm a professional yoga instructor. Currently, I'm working in Singapore as a professional yoga instructor. My yoga journey started when I was in a senior high school, and I was doing a volunteering in one of the yoga ashram in my hometown, Varanasi. So I saw the people there. I remember the month. That month was Magh Mantha in 2012. You must remember that time the Kumbh Mela was happening in the Allahabad. So basically, that people they came to attend Kumbha. At the same time, they wanted to do some. They wanted to know about the yoga and yajna sacrifice. So they also joined us to Varanasi. They came there. So I joined them as a volunteer, and I was doing my volunteering that time. So I saw them like few of them. They were doing some different kind of yoga posture. They were doing some kriya, and it was really interesting to me. Like they were doing some neti and nauli. They were using gel neti, like they were inserting the water through right nostril, and it was going down with the left nostril.
My
So
goodness.
this thing actually, yeah, attract me. And I saw them, the people were really super flexible. They can bend back, they can twist themselves. They were doing handstand and everything. So I went to the Guruji there and asked them what is this and what they were doing that time. I want to know. Then Guruji asked me, okay, you can join us and you do practice with us. So I did my first yoga practice there, and I practiced there for 1 month. After this period of time, Mahashivratri occurs, so we celebrate there. Then that time I realized, why should I not, like, I want to build my career in this field. So
Okay.
after that, I completed this event. Then I prepared myself and I joined Banaras Hindu University, and I did my graduation in Sankhya Yoga and Buddhism philosophy. During my graduation, I performed in the various yoga championships, and I got medals, and I got few ranks. And in 2015, I represented myself in the second National Yoga Sport Championship. Okay. After completing my graduation, I proceed and I went to Bangalore for my higher study. I did my master in yoga therapy from the prestigious university SVSA Yoga University. And I also completed my 200-hour YETT yoga teacher training from the same place. After this, like during my master, again I was continuing practicing yoga and I was continuing preparing for the championship. So I got second rank in Himalaya Yoga Olympiad held in Bangalore, and I represented myself once again in the 24 International Yoga Festival Pondicherry. And I had also worked with a decathlon sport. I performed there for their event, promotional event, and everything. So I was performing there as a yoga practitioner. So this is my journey. And after completed my study, I went to Vietnam. I started my career in Vietnam. I taught there more than 1 year. Then I got a call from the Singapore. So currently I'm working in a Singapore.
So currently, Yogi Abhijeet ji is working
Yeah.
at as an instructor of yoga in Singapore. And Yogi ji, a very basic thing that vivid your experience throughout these years as an instructor from an academic journey that you already throw a light, such a nice vivid history you have told about your academic introduction from Banaras Hindu University and now as a yoga instructor. So, what do you, how can you say that the overall experience? Can you brief it in two, three lines? Tell us how did you start your career that we know now and your experience at present in different country?
Yes, like as we all know, yoga in India, people are taking as a level of the spiritual.
Yeah.
It's connected with the spiritual. So my first experience was in Vietnam. So I saw people there. Actually, the people in the Vietnam, they are a fitness geek. So they were taking yoga as a physical activity, and they are really health conscious. Suppose if you're doing suppose I'm working in India, so India is something different as compared to Vietnam, and Singapore is really different. So every country has their own specialty like that. So India, what was happening there, like suppose I also did my internship in Bangalore during my studies. So India, like we start with the prayer, and we can throw the yogic knowledge to the participant, to the member. They are interested to know, and we start with the pranayam and everything. But when I went to Vietnam, the thing was totally different. There people were, of course, the Vietnamese, they are really disciplined. Suppose if you have a class at 5 a.m. early in the morning, sometimes teacher late,
Okay.
but members never late. They come 4:49 for the class
They are punctual.
before 1 minute. Yeah, they are punctual and they are really disciplined and they are really health conscious. It's not only about the yoga. They want to do some physical activity. They do Zumba, they do yoga, dance, aerobics, whatever they can do. They play soccer. They do. So Vietnam is really a good place for a yoga instructor, and really I got to learn so many things in Vietnam, and that was my first experience. So I was doing yoga, and I of course I'm a master degree holder in yoga therapy. So, but I was not aware with that things like how what is going on in this world. Like when I went to Vietnam, then I saw, oh my God, it is also a part of yoga. Ah, all right. So I got to know this thing. Suppose in India, I was doing a Hatha yoga,
Yeah.
Ashtanga, Vinyasa, and sometimes we do Kriya and Pranayam. So I went to Vietnam, then I got to know, no, like, of course, this is a yoga, but they, that they commercialize the thing. And like every time I was taking a new classes, like suppose this morning I did yoga for side bend. Next class is yoga for back bend, yoga for hip opening,
Okay.
yoga
There
for
is a
shoulder
very
opening.
specialized class.
Right. This thing actually not for now. This thing you cannot find in India. India only they do hatha yoga. Advanced practitioner they are going for Ashtanga, Vinyasa, and this thing. But I saw this thing like I was taking more than 20 style of classes in Vietnam. And same, I left Vietnam. I got opportunity in the Singapore. I came
Okay.
here. So Singapore people and Vietnam people actually they are much quite similar with each other. Here also people are punctual for the class, and here actually more commercial than the Vietnam. Of course, we all know Singapore is a well organized country.
Yeah.
So here, everything is commercialized and classes and everything you have to do in the
So that is a
commercial.
different view of yoga. All the
Yeah.
viewers are listening today. So that is a thing, and very beautifully, Yogi ji has differentiated between the all three nations and his journey also. So I would like to ask the our flagship question that how can yoga be connected to environment and its contribution to environment, Yogi ji? Please throw some light on this.
Okay. All right. Suppose first thing if you go to Hath-yogi Pradipika, they mention like where to perform yoga, like what should be our atmosphere and background, and where we have to do the yoga. So in first chapter only, they mention one sutra, or you can say sloka. Sloka is like Surajya Dharmik Dese. Okay, Surajya means well disciplined place, Dharmik Dese. Okay, Subhichike Nirup Dave. The
Okay.
second line they start with Dhanu Praman Parayantam Yogi, and then the Sila Agni Jal Varjite. Sila Agni Jal Varjite.
Varjit.
The third line Ekante Madhikamaste Sthantva Hatha Yogina. So it means like Surajya means your state, your place should be very neat and clean. It should be disciplined.
This is very
Means
important for the listeners
right,
to keep in mind.
right, yeah. Then the second they start with the Dhanu Praman Prayanta, means how much space you have to occupy for the yogasana or any pranayam, whatever you want to do. It's a Dhanu Praman. Dhanu means a bow. Dhanu Praman Prayanta means and like Dhanu means not like a bow, it's like a normal bow. Dhanu also dimension is mentioned in the Veda.
Yeah.
Dhanu means according to your
Correct.
chest and everything, right? So Dhanu means each and every individual has their own dimension. The mat length and width according to their own body structure, BMI, and the body structure like that. Okay. So Dhanu Praman Prayantam. So individual Dhanu, not the common Dhanu, not the common bow like everyone is using.
Yeah.
No. This Dhanu Praman Prayantam means according to your dimension, you have to occupy the place. And
Place.
that place should be not included Sila, Agni, Jal, means of course no fire, no like water kind of thing. So it should be really neat and clean. And the third line they start with ekante madhikamaste.
Okay.
Ekant means alone. Madhikamas means Mathikamas means in the center of the hall or in the center. Even you are not in the hall means like it should be very surrounded, like no people, and really peace should be there. So
Okay.
this is the place. Okay. So of course, if you want to follow this thing, you need such a nice atmosphere, and your weather and everything should be very very clean.
So,
So
as per
uh,
today's, Yogiji, I would interrupt. As per today's air, atmosphere, and nature that we are surrounded with, what would you say and connect that how the you have seen that mega cities have been more polluted nowadays. So,
right,
breathing and your yoga is with joined directly with the prana. So, what would you
right,
say
right.
about it?
Yeah, I was coming to this topic.
Sure.
So like first thing is like this is our space, like where we have to practice. So this thing, that Veda and Upanishad, this thing has been written really like a year ago, 1,000 year or 2,000. We really don't know the evidence. So that time the thing was different. Now everywhere you can see the concrete jungle,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So that time people were healthy because they were following the discipline, what they mention in yogic textbook. So now actually we cannot, and we don't have that much space, that much enough space, so we
Exactly.
cannot do right. So now the thing is changed to the commercialization. So we do yoga in a small studio or hall, and they're surrounded by the mirror. And the funny thing here, like people in yoga studio, I also teaching, they're using aircon, air conditions, but it's really you cannot use air condition in the yoga practice during the yoga practice time. But the most of the studio in Singapore, in Vietnam, even in India nowadays, it's a fancy thing. They want to know, like they suppose if they are paying you, they need a aircon. But this is not really healthy, and we all know like aircon or air condition is really not good
Yeah.
for our health, and this is really not good for our nature also.
Correct.
Right. So this thing, and because like suppose you are using air condition like a 22-degree temperature, and you're breathe out means you're not inhaling and exhaling the natural air surrounded you. This air is coming from the air condition. So of course this will harm. It can be harm your lung, and it can be lead to the respiratory disorder. This
So
is the
it's
one.
very clear that
Yeah.
Abhijit ji is saying that the air should be nature bound, that should be natural, that should be pure.
That would be natural, yeah. But one thing, like, of course, we cannot follow the what they mention in the Veda and Upanishad. So we can do in the room as well,
Okay.
because of course we have to change day by day. Nowadays, no place to go to the park and practice. So of course, but that time better to have a window where the ventilation should be clear.
The flow of the air
Try
is
not, yeah, right, and try not to use the aircon or
correct.
air condition, right? So we can do at home, we can do in
So
our room, but the ventilation should be very neat and clear, and avoid the artificial thing. This is the one effect. Second effect is happen because nowadays air pollution is everywhere,
okay.
and we breathe in that polluted air. We breathe in and we breathe out. So this thing is happening. Like suppose you're inhaling the polluted air inside, it will go to your lung, and it can harm your lung. So it can be lead to the respiratory disorder, and sometimes we also face the cancer kind of thing,
Yeah,
as
lot
we
of
all
problems
know.
people are facing like
Right,
cardiovascular diseases penetrating into the
right,
deep alveolus. So that is
right.
very true what you're saying, Yogi ji.
As
Definitely.
we like, last time when I was kid, I hear the thing, cancer is a disease which can only happen is a genetic thing. Like my parents are having, so I can have it. It's a probability is more. But nowadays you cannot find the link,
No.
but everyone can happen because this the pollution thing. Because of the pollution thing, you can see it's not really too bad. Just I was kid like 10 year or 15 year. I hear cancer can only happen if your family someone is having. It can be linked, but nowadays no, nothing like that. Because of how we are playing with the atmosphere and everything. So these are the cause like we are
Okay.
facing nowadays. Yeah.
So in this aspect, I would change a bit, little the way we are moving. Like you have might have seen the author of the book of the Silent Spring. uh, due to that book, lots of policies and laws have been started initiating, or we can say it was the start, or that has triggered to the environmental policies not only in India but even abroad. So, in that context, I would say that that book had shown that lots of pesticides have been, pumped up in the current soil and current environment. So, what about the organic farming, organic culture, or the food that we eat in yoga? Has in yoga it has been defined what kind of shuddha pak or shuddha eateries that we should give stress to, Yogi ji?
Yeah, see, in not in yoga, even you go for the Ayurveda. So they mention three kind of food. First one is the tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic.
Correct.
So sattvic food is for yogic lifestyle. Okay, so most of us we are following the rajasic food. Tamasic means we use alcohol and most of the time we use non-vegetarian thing, meat and all. So this comes under the tamasic.
Tamasi.
So yeah, Rajasic food means we eat junk food and like samosa and this thing. This like they have the Rajas thing inside. Okay, so we for yogic thing we have to avoid this first two,
First.
Tamasic and Rajasic. So we have to follow the third one, that is the Sattvic. And Sattvic means you have to take a balanced diet. Cannot
Okay.
do overeating, cannot do less eating, and we have to follow the proper diet plan, and like it should be on the proper time. As we all know, like Indian, we are the Indian people, so we take our dinner late night, like 8 or 8 plus. Okay, right? This thing I saw and I experienced, like you see the Indian people, they're really fatty. Most of the people they're having unwanted fat in the
Correct.
belly, to the side belly, right? I went to Vietnam. I saw like the obesity rate is really, really down there. Only few person are having the obese problem in Vietnam. Why? Because they are following the diet plan very nicely. They won't eat after sunset. Their
Okay.
dinner time is 6 to 7. After 7 p.m., we cannot say they won't eat, but they avoid to eat, right? So mean 7 p.m. they eat, they have their dinner, then they do for the further work they proceed. Now I'm working in Singapore, so most of the Singapore people are in the Chinese origin. Here only three origin you can find, like you can say the race. For 74% people are Chinese,
Yeah.
and 14% something like from Malaysia, and rest are the Indian. So here actually they mess up everything. So here again, you can very easily find, suppose if a person from the Indian origin, that person is having their dinner at late night, 8, 9, or sometime 11 also. But Chinese people, they are really disciplined. They are having their dinner means 7. 7 means 7. After sunset, they never want to take the dinner. So this thing really matter. And if you're having the proper diet, of course, you will be fit and you can see your dimension and everything. Your body structure will be really good. So diet matter, of course. And if you talk about the organic, so what is organic again? Like Hatha Pradipika mentioned everything. So just one decade before, the organic term was not there in the market,
Mm.
right? Because that time Indian farming system was really good, not really good, but that was okay, and we prefer to go and buy the desi vegetables and fruit. The hawkers they're coming to our street, so we prefer, like we that time we did never want to go supermarket and buy the vegetable, the fancy now avocado is just a fancy thing, nothing else. In my, like when I was a child, I never saw avocado, but now what everyone wants to eat and they are saying no fat. But no, it's just like a fancy fruit, and that time we just having the farming food like the desi, we know by the desi vegetable and desi food. But now actually we play with the nature, we never care how to farm and everything. So now again the business mind came here, and they are using the term organic.
Yeah.
What they are doing, they are doing the same thing what our forefathers or ancestors they did in the simple way. Now they are doing in the marketing way.
Very true.
Okay, right. So for that thing, we not have to pay that much amount for one apple. One apple in India, that I remember we can get in the 3 or 2 rupees when I was in the school. But now you cannot get one apple in the 3 or 2 rupees. You minimum have to pay 10 to 15 rupees. And they were saying with one sticker like this is the organic. So what does it mean by organic? It's nothing, but we play with the nature, a business might come and they use, and we are paying for that. So of course we cannot do this kind of thing. We have to respect the nature and atmosphere. And of course we can save our health and wealth, everything if we are going with this way. And yoga, like yoga means addition,
Correct.
right? So means it's only like all about to balancing the thing. Yoga teaches us how to balance our life. But nowadays, we people are really extreme. We are extreme. Suppose if we want to do, so we have to do, we have to achieve the thing. We really never care about the person next to us, the nature surrounded by us. We just work on that. We never care anything. So this thing is really harming everything, our nature, our relation, our society, everything.
So this is a very beautiful picture what Yogi Abhijeet ji has given us, and indeed that is going on in the today's scenario of the whole world. And as mindfulness has exploded into a range of clinical and research settings across the whole world and the globe, its close relative, that is yoga, has followed the same suit across a range of these settings from community mental health to psychological labs or at some of the top research universities like NIMHANS in Bangalore also you can say from where Abhijit ji has been also he has given a long time of his academic years in Bangalore. So yoga is being incorporated and investigated for the effectiveness as a both as a complementary therapy and a standalone treatment also. So Yogi ji, my question to you, how would you stand with the yoga as a treatment standalone? Or would you take it as a spiritual enlightenment to make the lives easy? Can you please tell?
Okay. So I just in the previous question I told you like yoga is to balance and yoga means addition. So terms yoga means no we cannot say yoga only work for your mental or physical health.
Correct, correct,
We cannot say like it's only about the therapy, it's only about the fancy posture. Actually yoga works on the three level: mental, physical, and spiritual.
spiritual.
Yeah. So it depends on the individual how he needs yoga in his life. So we can apply as a therapy, we can apply as a mental level, like some people are having mental disorders. So we can
Correct,
apply. We can also do yoga practice as a spiritual level.
correct,
They have so many things like Kundalini Jagaran and pranayam meditation. This thing is a higher level of the practice, and this thing comes under the spiritual level. In the hospital you can see people nowadays. I'm as like for me I'm also a yoga therapist by a degree, but I'm doing a yoga instructor job. So yeah, if you go to hospital nowadays, so many disease like a back pain, neck pain, obesity, diabetes, cancer, it can be cured by yoga. So we can apply as a therapy also. And the last and the least, like of course, we can use as our for self health and
yeah.
self growth. That is the self. That is the mental level.
So, very truly, you have picturized the balance between the yoga, not only for the peace of the mind and the exercise on the mats that everybody sees, but there are many other ayams that Yogiji just discussed between us. That yoga is a balance between what you take, the foods, what you eat, how you wake up, at what time do you go and retire to the bed. So, everything is connected to the yoga. And very beautifully, he also mentioned that yoga is the milan or we call it the unity of human and the nature around you. As he told, the nature should be of what kind? So, Yogi ji, it is really privileged to have you us here in this same context as it is a yoga day, and we would everybody would be practicing yoga. So, I would say that on 20 June 2016, the permanent mission of the United Nations and India that has organized this very special event that was for the yoga, and the title was the yoga for the achievement of the sustainable development goals. And we know that the purpose of this event was to enrich, educate, towards the collective and insights of the features of the ancient practice of the yoga that we are discussing here, and also to it make it as a central place so as to for the modern sustainability goals. So, how is yoga fulfilling all these global mission? Can you please enlighten us what is the real contribution of yoga in the sustainable development goals on the whole global platform? What you see today?
Okay. So there were a book. The book name is Meta Yoga Earth. Okay. So the writer mentioned the beautiful thing there, how this thing is related with the yoga. Just 2 years back, the Ashtanga lineage, the yogi name is he is the grandson of Pattabi Joyce, Sarad Joyce. He also explained in one of the seminar, and he is the lineage of the Ashtanga Yoga, Mysore-based yogi. So if you go through the Yoga Vasisht, they mention like one sutra, Mana Prasamana Mana Prasamana Upay Yoga Iti Vidhiyate.
Okay.
So what does it mean? Means yoga is to mastery over your monkey mind. To control your monkey mind is known by your yoga according to the Vasishtha. So okay. So of course yoga not only help at your mental level, it also help to the inner level. And it also working inside you, like it will work with your soul, or you can say the Atma.
Okay.
And yoga also like is addition thing, so it will help you to reach to like it add atma to paramatma.
Oh,
So right. So and this is called like this is the yoga. So anything when we add, so this is yoga. So of course if we are doing good, we are really peace, so of course we give a nice message, a peace message to the society, and we can connect to the other people as well, and they can
agree.
also understand the meaning of the yoga, right? So this thing is really good. By practicing yoga, by the message of yoga, we can work on this, and this will really help for this program. Okay. Like suppose you are doing some yoga practice, then you can feel the calmness inside, like even you are doing yoga asana for 1 hour, after 1 hour you can feel the lightness, like your mind like really active than 1 hour before, and after 1 hour your mind is really active, and after that you can think about the society, you can think about your nation and everything. So yoga lead for this program, that is SDG. Really it will help you, like and everything is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Like they already told yoga karma sukoslam and
Right.
samatvam yoguchyate, right? And Yoga Vasisht already told mana prasamana upayogya dhyate. Basic yogic book, that is Patanjali Yoga Sutra.
Yeah.
They also start with the sutra, that is Hath-yoga Anusasanam. Means Patanjali already said like he's not the one who founded the yoga.
Yeah.
He's saying like I'm going to organize the yoga. Okay, At means now, yoga anusasanam, yoga and anusasan means discipline, means now I'm going to discipline yoga. So Patanjali, what he did, he he collected the source and evidence, sutra, sloka, everything from the different yogic textbook. Then he organized the thing and he gave one textbook, that is Patanjali Yoga Sutra.
Okay.
So everywhere you can see one thing is the common, that is discipline. And second thing, yoga work inside and outside at the same time. Third thing is the connection between you, individual, to the other
To
person.
the other person.
So in this way we can lead for this thing, and of course it can be helpful for our atmosphere, and it can be helpful for this SDG program.
So very beautifully, again, you might have lots of viewer might be having this similar questions after this post-pandemic situation. Also, people are living with the new normal, even the climate change and lot of a hue and cry is going on everywhere. So from students to the policymakers, parents to the farmers, personal lives to the community level lives, Yogi ji, everybody is in stress. Everybody has to manage that level of stress. So yoga could be a really very big binding and spiritual guidance to them, as you just discussed with us. So would you please give us some tips to live a very better quality life and controlling stress?
Okay, so like yoga always talk about to calm down the mind. And they always talk, calm down your mind, remove your thoughts. The only two thing, if you go for any yoga class, the instructor used to say during your savasana, the end of the yoga session, and the beginning of the yoga session when you adopt the namaskar, they always say, calm down your mind and try to remove your thoughts.
Correct.
Try to observe your natural breathing pattern. These three things really matter in yoga. Okay, first thing we always say calm down your mind. But our mind is never ever calm down. I'm talking to you, you're talking to me, but so many ideas are coming, so many thoughts are coming to my mind.
That
Like
is natural.
tomorrow, yeah, it's a natural thing. Tomorrow morning, like I have to design a new class. Okay, after that I have to take care of this and that. And these thoughts can be occur for the stress because thoughts are continuing coming to my mind and there is no space. Thoughts coming. Suppose sometime we drive and we are driving, but thoughts are coming and we are not focusing on our driving skill. So stress can be lead by that thing. So why we do yoga? So like, when we do yoga, like that time your stress level is really down. How it's go down? By yoga, you can calm down your mind. Okay, you're doing a laptop work, office work, computer work, table work. We engage with our work. Suppose most of the person they are doing computer work or table work, right? So what is happening there? Like they are engaging with the work. They after the work they are going back to their home, but they are still thinking about the work what they had done during the day. They never take care about their children, their family, their parents. All the time they just think about the work. And nowadays everything is like no personal life. Like everywhere is a professional life. Dad and son, they are talking as a professional. You
Correct.
give me money, I have to go for the study. Okay, after study you have to return me back something. So this is actually nowadays this is like a professional lifestyle we are facing nowadays. Even girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife,
Yeah.
son, daughter, everybody is a professional thing. And this thing really lead us for the more and more stress, high stress level. So how yoga help? Don't talk about yoga. Suppose you are doing any kind of physical activity. Suppose you are running, you are jogging, you are doing any kind of workout, you're doing dance, Zumba, whatever you want, or even you are doing yoga. So that time what is happening? A workout is only thing where your mind is only focused on your workout.
Correct.
That time you really never think anything else. You just want to focus on your practice. So in this way, yoga actually help to reduce the stress level. Suppose you're doing a simple sun salutation, Surya Namaskar. That time instructs whoever is your instructor, they only give you the instruction, inhale, hands up, exhale, bend forward. So you only listen to the instructor, you only focus on your practice. That time this is the fact. You never ever think about your work, your family, your relationship, your money. That time you never the thoughts is really never come to your mind. So this is why instructor always say calm down your mind and remove your thoughts. So by practicing of yoga we can remove our thoughts. Once we remove our thoughts our mind will calm down. And
Okay.
once our mind is coming down, of course our stress will reduce. So in this way this is very good for the stress management. In SVSR, they were having one program that is SMAC, Stress Management Program. That in that workshop, anyone can join, and they only taught the thing. They are teaching the thing how you can manage your stress. How can you like reduce your stress level and all. So how this only one way. Just you have to work on your thoughts. You just have to remove your thoughts, and you have to push your thoughts away from you.
Correct.
Once no thoughts enter to your mind, of course, your mind will be calm. And once your mind is calm, of course, no stress. First, actually start with the stress. We feel high stress. After stress leads to the high blood pressure, then hypertension, then leads so many disease, kidney failure, heart disease, respiratory problem, paralysis, sometimes heart attack. So this thing is happening nowadays. So do yoga, just be safe and be calm.
So that's a really very beautiful and very nicely you have presented this, and you have given a beautiful tips also to the young generation even to the all different sects of our community, our society. And yeah, indeed, people are in stress, and the managing stress is really very crucial. And today, all of the researches, on cognition, neural networks, brain neurons, and these are all happening. Indeed, they are true. But if you talk on the reality on the grounds, people are in stress. You can see around after, even today, even from a small businessman to a big businessman doesn't know about the future in the next what is going, how the 2020 is going to end. So this is a very good practice for your mind, for your peace of your body, for everything what Yogi ji just discussed today. And I'm very happy that all the listeners and from all the corners of the globe, please do subscribe, do like this channel, share the word of Yogi ji to one and all, so that everybody can bring this beautiful and holy spiritual practice of the life, not only the mat exercise, what you see, but the balance between all the ayams of the yogas, and make your life stress free, more easy quality life. So, in the last, I would insist Yogi Abhijeet ji to show us a pose which you like the most, and on this auspicious day of International Yoga Day.
Okay, give me a while. I will show my one of the best posture. I really
Sure,
like this
sure.
posture. All right. Okay. So I will show you the posture name is the Skandhasana.
Okay.
So Skandhasana, like of course, is advanced level for the for advanced level of practitioner. Beginner cannot do, but they can do some warm up exercise for this. The simple warm up exercise we know, like a butterfly. First, come to the folded leg sitting position, that is called bond angle pose, Baddha asana. Okay, so you can do some warm up exercise. This is the warm up for this posture. Okay, advanced practitioner, the intermediate practitioner, just they have to twist their ankle like that way for 5 to 4 times every day. So this way you can get the mastery over this posture. So okay, so advanced practitioner go for that. That is the Skandhasana. Sit comfortably, spine erect. Okay, from here, raise your both the feet up, and you have to breathe out and twist your ankle and push your feet towards your chest like that.
My goodness. So that's a
Yeah.
pose.
So right. So this is the Skandhasana. But better not to try if you are a beginner and if
Beginner.
you are a beginner practitioner, right? Intermediate also have to avoid this practice. First, they have to free their ankle. Once your ankle is free, then you can proceed for that practice. Because this is really a sensitive part, and sometimes people having the hairline fracture.
Yeah.
So you must have to avoid this practice. Better to do under a good trainer, good instructor,
So, if
or take your
what would
own
be
time.
your advice or any beginning yoga pose which everybody would like to do if they are starting this International Yoga Day after seeing this video, they're
Right.
inspired.
Okay, so this is very easy to start the yoga. When you go for the Ghiran Sahita, they mention one sloka, that is Asnani Samasthani Yava Jiv Jantava. Means number of posture is how much the number of posture. They mention like in this living earth, how much living being animal are there. That is the number of posture. Okay, so and most of the posture name, like it's based on the animal name, like
Correct.
Swanasana, Gomukhasana, upside down, Adhamukha Swanasana, downward facing dog, Adhamukha, Udhamukha Swanasana. So, so this is the posture. Then if you go for the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, they said Stiram Sukham Asanam, the posture where you happy to sit for a long time, that is your posture. So we cannot say only doing handstand sirsasana or having crane bakasana is your posture. No, every individual have their own flexibility, have their own range of motion. So according to them, according to your individual, like according to the individual limit, they have to proceed for the practice. There should be no, like, you're not supposed to say this guy is flexible, so I have to be flexible. No, this is not really yoga. Yoga really never talk about that. So beginner can start like, just remember two sutra. One is the Sthiram Sukham Asanam. Second one is the Asnani Samasthani Yavat Jivjantava. At each and every posture, they have a three level: beginner, intermediate,
Intermediate and
advanced. So
advanced.
follow by step and step by step. So you can proceed and you can achieve your goal one day. So for beginner, just you can start with the butterfly. I told you it will help you to open your hip joint, knee joint. It will help you to free your ankle joint, and it's really good for the your thigh and this calf muscle.
Calves
It will
muscle.
help you to reduce the unwanted fat from your leg. So you can do 20 to 30 round of this butterfly. You can do some twisting, simple twisting, that is the Masendrasana spinal twisting pose. You can do the Vrikshasana, that is a tree pose. You can do half wheel pose, and you can do the forward bend in the sitting and the standing. So this all practice is for the beginner level of practice. Now, so beginner can do this practice, and day by day, once you started doing yoga, better then you will know your limit, and day by day, you can improve your practice. So beginner just start with the classical posture, tree pose, chakrasana, setu bandhasana, and then you can proceed. And one thing for the beginner, like we do posture, but we never focus on our breathing pattern.
Correct.
Okay, right. We suppose I'm saying you have to do padhastasana. Padhastasana means forward bend posture. So people just bend forward. So, but you have to understand the mechanism. Whenever you are bending back, that time you have to breathe in.
Okay.
Okay, then you have to bend back. If you breathe out, if you are exhale and you are bending back, that time, first thing, you cannot bend back. Second thing, you are doing forcefully movement, like, oh yeah, I have to bend, I don't care, and you never focus on the breathing pattern. These two things can lead us for the hypertension, high blood pressure, and sometimes people, they're doing back bend, then coming back, then they can feel the star around that. So this thing can happen. So always focus on the breathing pattern. For forward bend posture, the mechanism is really simple. When you breathe in, this is your balloon. Your abdomen is your balloon. When you breathe in, it will blow up. Okay. When you breathe out, it will sink in. Right. So when you breathe in, it will really come out. So you cannot bend forward. That means your abdomen will lock your thigh and will not give you space to come forward with
Correct.
inhalation. So you have, when you exhale, your belly will sink in, then you will find your gap here. That time you can bend forward. So focus on the breathing pattern, try to understand the mechanism, and this mechanism you can understand by your own practice, or you can study some textbook and you can join some yoga classes. But don't do yoga without a proper breathing. If you're doing yoga without proper breathing, it's just a workout, it's not the yoga.
So if
So
you
focus
believe
on the right.
people and the viewers who are looking at your program, they would like to connect to you. I would mention your your email IDs just below the description of this video. And that was really very great to have you here. And it was not only related to nature as our flagship questions that I had asked to Yogi ji. Rather than that, it has been related to the real scenario of yoga, the pros and the cons of doing the improper way of yoga as well. And Yogi ji has also thrown a light over the piece of not only the minds and the health, but also bringing the SDG goals, which is a very global goals for not one but to all. Apart of that, I would say that this program's takeaway has been as a small short session of yoga also before this such a big auspicious day being today, International Yoga Day, with whose roots are from our culture, diverse Indian mythology, yogic sciences. So I would again, from all the viewer sides, I will thank Yogi ji to join this program as a second episode of our channel, Harit Charcha, which indeed was not only Harit Charcha, but was also for a Swasth Charcha as well. So thank you so much. Thank you all the viewers. Please do like and subscribe and give your questions that will be answered by Yogi ji himself in the comment box. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Namaste, everyone.